the 10 examples of how these people are just so hypocritical, right? So let's see, diversity. Okay, so these are the 10 things up front where, so diversity, you say you're for diversity, but then you can't tolerate diversity of opinion, which is the most important diversity there is. Oh, these people have a different idea, different ideas to me. I don't like it. Stop it. Like, what do you, like I thought you liked diversity. Inclusivity, inclusion. They're like saying, oh, the Mayflower's got a history of inclusion, inclusivity. We got to stop this. It's like, what do so you're excluding people to protect inclusion. Okay, makes a lot of sense. Equality, you say you're pro-equality, yet there's like this second-class citizens where if you have these ideas, no, you're not allowed to have that picnic. No, you're not allowed to have your cultural event. Oh, but yeah, someone who's pro-Hamas, they're allowed to. It's like, well, and whatever about that conflict which is very complicated, but everyone else gets to have it, but oh, like native Irish who are like, well, I don't know about this whole transformation of the country. I just want to kind of go back to how it was pretty recently. So no, no, now you're a second-class citizen. But we do believe in equality. Freedom of expression. Oh, you're pro freedom of expression, the whole trans thing, gay, rights and all this stuff, and okay, or anti-racism. Okay, but then you're not letting these people talk. You're terrified they'll get together and share their ideas and just hang out and have a good time, make some friends, develop that community. No, 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 we don't want that community developing. We don't want that expression to happen. Are you really pro free expression? Minorities. You say you're in favor of minorities. What about one of the most persecuted minorities, which is the minority of native Irish people who are aware enough and brave enough to stand up and say, hey, I don't like what's going on, and this is not right. This is not fair. Because you're going to get labeled all these negative things because there's a big agenda with a lot of money and power behind it, and Ireland's in the crosshairs, it's in the way, and so this is steamrolling ahead. So you get under, and then of course, that's the malicious top of the pyramid, but then beneath that, there's a lot of well-meaning people who genuinely believe in what they're being told, but they don't understand they're getting used as pawns by these dark forces. But the point is, it's a really, you're in the minority if you're in the majority if you believe it's wrong, what's going on, but you're in the minority if you're talking about it right now. Hopefully we can change that, and hopefully this festival is going to help to kind of get people, conspiracy theorists, or racists, whatever you're going to label these people. People are actually just common sense, free thinking people to come out of the closet and be like, yeah, I think this is all crazy. We need to stop it. So that's a minority. You don't care about us. You don't care about our rights, huh? By the way, I will be speaking at the Mise era. I'll be reading poetry and giving kind of speech, or like a talk, let's say workshop about three steps to peace, which is my kind of I'll talk a little bit after, but basically my idea for a cultural renewal. So how we can kind of get more peace, inner peace and outer peace. How can we can get the country back in a better um, state, and then that also inspire the rest of the world, hopefully, to do the similar thing. All right, moving on. So democracy. You say you're pro-democracy, but you can't let other people have these ideas. It's all everyone has to think the same thing. Do you know what democracy means? It means different. Everyone can think what they think. You put out your ideas through free expression, and the people, the majority, decide what they like, and we just trust the people. But you clearly are so egotistical. You don't trust the people to just I'll let everyone talk, and truth will rise to the top. Marketplace of ideas, open competition of ideas. Using logic to engage with people and point out things. And if a room full of 100 people, maybe 10 people will believe the dumb ideas, 10 people really get the right ideas, and then most people in the middle, yeah, they vaguely get and they're persuaded by the right ideas. um you don't believe that. You believe that, no, 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 if we just let everyone talk, everyone, the dumb ideas are going to win. So, okay, yeah, makes a lot of sense. So you're pro-democracy apparently, but you're trying to shut down this cultural festival because the people attending have political beliefs, or some of them do, that you don't agree with. Hmm. Rebels. You say you're pro rebels, and yeah, the little guy, and standing up, and yet you're in lockstep with the state and the biggest bureaucracies, the biggest armed bureaucracies and forces of money and power on the planet. What kind of a rebel are you? Um, and you won't even tolerate rebels for a different cause. So, okay. fascism. You say you're anti-fascism. And they would say, oh, Leachman against fascism is the thing that, shut this down. It's like, okay, you realize you're going around and stopping people having a cultural festival because it's not even about politics. Of course, politics is deeply involved in many, many things, but it's not about politics on the surface, like you could say, whatever. You could try to connect it to it because the people going there have certain opinions in general, but it's a cultural thing, it's a community thing, and you're shutting it down because you don't. Oh, you're afraid their ideas are going to spread. How are you not fascist? And especially when even in the more political science definition of being corporate fusion of corporate and state power, where it's like it just so happens that the massive corporate state fused forces want this to happen, and they probably funded or the people going in to stop this festival, given what we know about how they've been doing that before with other things. Um, so racism, you say you're anti-racism, yet you know you're not worried about these people trying to celebrate a particular culture and ethnic group. In fact, it happens to be the indigenous ethnic and cultural group. You've no no problem shutting down their festival. It's like, and apparently you want to bring back Irish kneecap, or you're pro-Irish, but the people there, it's literally in the thing. It's a celebration, partly a celebration of Gaeilge, and that's part of it, and you don't need to agree with the ideas of everyone there, but it's like, can you not see how insane that is? Like that, this is um, you know, all right. Last thing, tolerance. You say you're pro-tolerance, but it seems like you probably couldn't tolerate watching this video this long. Um, and you certainly don't seem to be able to tolerate different political opinions, um, and or different beliefs in general. So just a bunch of hypocrisy. Like if anyone's what I hope someone can watch this long, someone who disagrees with me is just maybe the fury, kept them watching to think about it. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe that we all get confused. I'm like, I get confused. I'm not perfect. I'm 100% 10 years from now, I'll look back and go, oh my God, I was such an idiot about this thing. I was right about that and I was doing great progress there, but this thing, I was way off. It always happens. You look back and you learn things. So I'm not perfect. No one's perfect, but you're not perfect either. Guess what? Spoiler alert. So maybe you should take this on board and think, can, okay, maybe I'm thinking in general, a good rule is try to prove the other person right. I try to do this. I try to imagine the other side are right and how could I justify it and use logic to think that, which is good for me preparing to talk to them so I can defend myself better. But also, sometimes I realize, oh, I need to change my opinions. They're actually right. Um, and other times, like, no, there's just nothing there. And then it gives me more confidence about what I'm talking about. Um, and then you go back to thinking about your normal thing. Go, okay, think from my normal point of view. And, like, it's very good for all reasons. So that's it. So that's what's going on in, the Mise Era Festival being moved to Mayo.